Welcome everyone to Campus Conversations. My name is Oscar Lornaz, and I'm proud to be the host of this podcast. With us today, we have two of our fantastic faculty. We have Professor Guyton and Professor Shippey. And today we're going to be talking about professional development, right? One of them just got her doctoral degree, and the other one, Professor Guyton, is in the process of getting his. But before we dive into what that process is all about and how that benefits our students and the college, why don't you each introduce yourselves and share with us a little bit about how long you've been at the college, what courses you teach, and a little bit about yourselves.
My name is Margaret Shippey. I have been at the college 23 years, just celebrated the anniversary. And my primary discipline is world languages. So I teach the EAP classes, the students that are learning English as a second language, so they can go on and pursue their degree. And but last year I started dabbling in the honors college curriculum, so I'm also teaching the honors college students.
Wonderful.
My name is Jake Guyton. I like to say I teach all things English, English composition 1 and 2, literature, and the EAP courses as well. I've been at Miami-Dade College for 8 years total, and on this campus for 2, going into my 3rd year full-time.
Wonderful.
And I also teach some leadership seminar for honors college as well.
Wonderful. So let's dive in. Okay, what's this about doctorate level programs? Like what inspired you, Dr. Shippey, to pursue that degree, and how has that changed your life and your teaching style?
So I think I got really motivated to do it when I was in this administrative position. I spent 4 years as the director of faculty development at the college, and I worked with a lot of faculty, and we did a lot of community-based learning and like task forces and work groups. And I had this question that was really knocking around in my head around working with faculty in communities, learning through community. And so, I tried different things and I read, but I never quite had the time as an administrator. Maybe you can relate to that. Like, there's so much you want to do, topics you want to explore, but you don't have the time. So I decided that's when I decided, oh, I should do a degree in this. And there's a really great program out of UF that's online, so that's convenient because you don't have to go to class. You have to go to UF every once in a while, but it was very convenient, and it was educational technology. And that's a big topic, so
Wow.
you can go in any direction with that topic. And so I chose faculty development within that big topic of educational technology.
And have your questions been answered?
Yes, actually. I wrote a paper in my first semester, and that same theme, more or less, was what my dissertation was on. So I was able to like chip away at it every semester.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
And how about you, Professor Guyton? What has inspired you to go one level more?
Yeah. My biggest influence is just realizing that research has always been kind of one of my biggest weaknesses.
Mm.
I did a lot of research in both of my master's programs, but I never published anything. And having the college pay for it, it's like
That is an advantage
I
of being an
definitely
employee.
advantage.
Yes.
like I might as well do that now. I'm the type of person who I really like to look at my weaknesses and try to fix those weak links as much as possible, and become the overall best person and best professional that I can be. And this degree will hopefully do that for me.
And how long have you been in the program?
This is my 2nd year in the program too.
And
I
how-
started almost immediately after getting hired here full time.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And how's it going so far?
It's going pretty well. It is definitely a challenge to, work full time here, take the overloads, and do the PhD on the side. I definitely overloaded myself in the first semester. 2 classes is too much. So I'm just doing 1 class at a time and taking it easy.
Overload is when you teach more classes than what you're required to teach, correct?
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, that's
I just love doing so many things that it's hard not to get into all of that.
it's also a challenge because I think that, we want to offer a lot of classes to our students and we want to be there for them. And we sometimes don't have enough faculty or adjuncts to even teach them. So that's where the overload comes in. And we appreciate that you're able to do that. Because sometimes people are like, nope, this is my life. I don't have time for that. So thank you. What would you say is the biggest takeaway that you have from having gone through that experience that you could share with others that might be interested in having a doctoral degree?
So many. I think anybody who goes back, whether or regardless of what degree you're working on, it's a reminder of being a student again and balancing what our students have to do, juggling all the things. And they would complain to meet my students. And I'm like, oh, I'm a student too. Kind of throw it back at them in their faces. And I'm like, I got homework to do too. So, and because my program was online, UF uses Canvas. So had the student perspective in Canvas, and the professors designed their classes really well, and I learned a lot about just how to use Canvas as an instructor myself because I saw it from the student side.
That's wonderful.
So yeah, it really did help.
Canvas is a platform that we use
Yes.
through all of our courses, but we have been on Canvas at Miami-Dade like for what, 2 years, I think?
Oh, longer than that.
Longer
Maybe
than that?
4,
4?
4 or 5.
So when you started your program, we were already on Canvas?
Newly on Canvas, but I primarily, because of my students are language learners, I usually teach in-person classes, and we had Blackboard before. I barely did very much with it. But now that I know what can be done with it, and they're going to go on and need to use Canvas for their other courses. So I do feel like it's in my responsibility as their instructor to help them at least get their feet wet
Yeah.
in Canvas. So
No, that's awesome that you were able to experience that and learn from it, and Miami-Dade College students benefited as a result.
yeah, for sure.
So, what would you say is your biggest takeaway?
I would echo the same thing about being in the students' shoes again. It's just so much better overall for me as a professor to be able to be in that position and to remember what it's like to have to meet all of these deadlines. And it's also helped me to be a bit more understanding with the students too. Because a lot of these students, they're working multiple jobs, they're working full time, just like we are. And now seeing how I'm struggling managing even just 1 or 2 classes with a full class load, it really helps me to empathize with them more.
Yeah.
And, not take it as seriously to like really dock their points or grades for not meeting a deadline, like right on time, a few days grace period, just being more empathetic and understanding of what the students are going through.
I'm glad you said that because our students, I think, go through a lot, and our students between work and family and just so many responsibilities, it's really difficult, and we forget that. And so, thank you for keeping that in the forefront of your minds because that is something that I think that empathy and that support is what makes us special as a college and makes our students special also as a population. So, thank you. So when can we anticipate calling you doctor?
Probably not till sometime 2029.
Okay.
I got to take my time, one at a time.
So if this podcast is still around in 2029, we'll have you back to talk about your completion.
2.0.
Yeah, right.
By the way, any parting words, any words of wisdom before we wrap up? We're running out of time.
I would just say for the fact that, it took me years to actually get off the bench and into the water or whatever the saying is. And I think you have to do it when the time is right for you. But, if you feel like the time is right, do it. There's a lot of support at the college for this decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say that it is worth it, to engage as a student again, simultaneously as a professor, as an educator. You really do just get a more well-rounded idea of what you need to do also to improve as an educator by watching what these other professors who are at a higher level of education see how they work in their class. Like you were saying, like you learned from them the way that they design their courses in Canvas, and just to see these different approaches of these other PhDs who are teaching these courses that you're going through. So I would absolutely recommend it to anybody, and it's paid for, right? So
Yep. Well, I want to thank you both for joining us today. I also want to thank you for taking the time to grow professionally and personally as well, I'm sure, because we all benefit from that. So, and it's a lesson for all of us. It's never too late to do something you've always wanted to do. So don't give up on your dreams. And I'll see you on the next, see you or hear you on the next episode of Campus Conversations. Have a great one.